Dragorad Milicevic, the shooter. And he scores! Dan Pelk in goal. Uimana fires off the post and out! The Serbian White Eagles have won the Canadian Soccer League Championship in a penalty shootout. Congratulations to the Serbian White Eagles!
Trois-Rivières outscored their opponents with solid individual efforts and great goals from James Louis-Jean and Carl Ouimet to secure a spot in this year's final. In rain-soaked conditions and waterlogged fields, they launched their attack from every angle, resulting in huge celebrations. With the Eagles in sight and the championship title well within their reach, tonight it's all or nothing in repeat of last year's championship final and their effort to avenge defeat against the Eagles. The lethal left boot of Sasha Vachiknes and the Serbian White Eagles defend their title for the second successive year against the Trois-Rivières Attak. The high-flying Eagles have one more hurdle to overcome in their quest for success to regain the championship title once again. It's time to take off and fly high as the Eagles are on the attack at BMO Field tonight. It's the 2009 CSL Championship Final and it starts right now.
BMO Field is the site for the 2009 CSL Championships. As the anthem is being sung, the Serbian White Eagles and the Trois-Rivières Attak line up in preparation for today's final. My name is Ardo Ocal here on the field at BMO. Alongside me upstairs will be Lara Baldessera and Joe Poggi calling the action. Well, if this looks a little bit familiar to you at home, that's because it is familiar. Trois-Rivières and Serbia renew their final rivalries here tonight. Last year it was a sordid affair, 120 minutes of action in pouring rain. Penalties were the only way to separate these two teams, and Trois-Rivières came up a little bit short, hoping to avenge that loss from the championships last year. For further analysis, we're going to send things upstairs to Lara and Joe. Guys.
Thank you very much, Arda. And Laura, the difference here is the rosters. That's it. It's take two, Trois-Rivières and Serbia.
That's right, and Trois-Rivières, a much, much younger team. All of their all-stars this year seem to be teenagers.
So, taking a look now at the two players to watch, Rita Agaram and Sasha Vachiknes. Our cameras caught up to them and got their thoughts on today's matchup.
I think a bit more energy, and we have exactly that with the younger team. The average age dropped about 5 years, so with the younger players, we're going to have energy, we're going to come out flying, and hopefully that will give us the result this year.
Great, thank you. That's good.
You guys to repeat this year?
Maybe same game, but Serbian to win today.
Is there any strategy that you guys have going into this game from perhaps last year?
Maybe, I don't know.
All right, thank you very much.
So Sasha Vachiknes keeping his cards real close to his chest. Rita Agaram on the other side of things. He's the leader of this team, and if he comes to play today and leads this new team, things could go the Attack's way.
Well, he did it all season long. Now, this is an 18-year-old Moroccan-born striker, and this is the guy that led the team in goals all season long. 13 he managed to score. Has not seen too much game time during the playoffs because he has been away with the national team in Lebanon for the Francophone games, which he was a huge factor in. So now he is back, and he is a huge threat up top.
Sasha Vachiknes, the guy to watch again for the Serbian White Eagles. All he's got to do is keep doing what he's been doing all season, and a real key to that are the free kicks.
They absolutely are. This is a guy where the majority of his goals come off of his set pieces. You put him anywhere within 30 yards of the net, and he is a real threat. Last year in the championship game, it was him who scored goal number 2 for Serbia off of a free kick. So Trois-Rivières knows that they do not want to give up fouls anywhere close to their area because Vachiknes is a major, major threat for them.
The starting lineup for the Trois-Rivières Attak, basically the storyline for both teams, it's the young guns, the rookies against the veterans, and really that's what this lineup for the Attak is.
It is indeed. There's a lot of very young players on this team, like we were saying, but Andre Badescu is now going to be the starting keeper in net. Did not start out this season that way, but his performance has allowed him to really secure that role. In the 15 games he's played, he has only allowed 12 goals. One name you're not seeing on your screen today, Alcana Maillard. He's been called up to play with the Montreal Impact, so he is not in there to be one of that key cornerstone defenseman like he was all season long.
For the Serbian White Eagles, the core is still there, anchored by Dan Pelk. He was in goal last season for the championship game. A repeat, he's back in this time.
That's true, and there's also, the core is there exactly like you said, Joe, but there are a lot of other guys that have been brought up that have just started playing right in the playoffs that are brand new to this team basically, but they've been doing an outstanding job, and whenever it comes down to them being subbed in, they are right there with those fresh legs that are awfully important for Serbia.
The Serbian chanting has started its game number 2 of this championship leg. The White Eagles took it last year. We'll see what happens this year. Send it back down to Arda.
Thank you very much, guys. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, the first half is upon us as you see the fans pouring into BMO Field. You can cut the tension with a knife here on this revenge match. The second game between the Trois-Rivières Attak and the Serbian White Eagles in 2 years. It's the championships, and it's next here on Rogers TV.
Thank you.
It is the CSL Championship Final. The Serbian White Eagles, they look to do it again, and they will duel with the team that they saw last season, the Trois-Rivières Attak.
Serbia, they are a team that knows this situation all too well. Since they rejoined this league in 2006, they have been in the championship match every single time.
Taking a look at the officials on your screen, and we are underway from BMO. The Serbian White Eagles starting off with control. On your screen, they are moving left to right in the white jerseys with blue numbering. The Trois-Rivières Attak going right to left on your screen in the blue jerseys with white numbering.
Now, Trois-Rivières was the team that finished first in the league this year with 38 points, but Serbia was right behind them, racking up 36 points after an 11-4-3 season.
Ball being pushed ahead by the White Eagles, and it will roll to Andre Badescu, who, as you heard earlier on in the opening, gets the call today as the goalkeeper. Dan Pelk, the counterpart for the Serbian White Eagles. As that is John Hurtis, who played it up in the air.
Dan Pelch as well. He has been splitting time all season with Marko Petrovic. However, he's been getting the call and starting in net for every playoff game this year.
This is the White Eagles. Kirill Dimitrov pushing it up, knocking it down is Sasha Vitiknis. He's going to wait for his teammates to catch up on the run. Vitiknis chipping it in front. This is Alex Bralatic. Couldn't get a clean shot off. He was knocked down to the turf by a pair of attack defenders. This is Uroš Stamatovic. He was spilled, turned it over to Agurev. Knock it up. This is Mirko Medic. He lost it. The attack try and push it back ahead. Knocked over at midfield. Once again, this is Bralatic. Uroš Stamatovic putting it ahead, swept through on the slide by Adrian Tisminar, knocked back. Played by Carl Ouimet in his own end, back to the goalkeeper. Badescu chips it up into the air. Both teams very tentative in the early going. 2 minutes gone. No one wanting to make the mistake, still feeling each other out in this pivotal championship game.
Nonetheless, this game already has such a fast-paced set to it. And that was a great ball there for Vitiknis, but he just could not catch up to it.
That is Badescu again, blowing it up. High kick down to the turf. White Eagles take it over again. This is Amanemi Vestouf. On the volley was Wimet. It's pushed ahead, and this is too far again for Vitiknas. Looks like the game plan today, Laura, is going to be find Vitiknas on the run, see if he can get in behind the defenders.
That's right. In the early minutes of this game, we're already really seeing Serbia's formation and their entire game tactic really laid out there. Vitiknas is that lone striker up top, and all balls, they're playing the long ball up to him. The question is he a fast enough guy at the age he's at to actually make the best of those?
And the flag is up. He is in offside ahead of the play. The chants have started in the background. Plenty of Serbian supporters. For argument's sake, they are the home team here, and usually that is worth about a goal in any sport.
Yes, both Serbia and Trois-Rivières have huge followings. Unfortunately, Trois-Rivières, because it is so far away in Quebec, it did not allow for their fans to get out to this game, which obviously we're in Toronto right now. So, will it come down to that 12th man advantage that Serbia is going to have today?
Pelk comes out, scoops up the loose ball. First time he's been able to touch today. Waiting for his players to get up the field into position. And a good, powerful kick by Pelk that cleared midfield right onto the foot, however, of Mike Vitalano. And this is played out of bounds.
Mike Vitalano, the Attack are very lucky to have him back. He has been away for most of the season, playing for the Montreal Impact. He's often played midfield, but today he's going to be that link between your defense and your midfield, really moving that ball really between them. But Trois-Rivières are very lucky to have him back for this very important game.
Cleared away by the Eagles. Missing getting a foot on that was Joey Cortez. Wimet sending it back, settling it down is Pierre-Rudolph Menard. Taken over by the White Eagles is another high ball to Vitiknas, and again offside. You can hear the shouts once again of the Serbian supporters. This crowd this afternoon, they're in a mood to celebrate.
And it is a crowd that will not hesitate whatsoever. Whenever there's a call against Serbia, these refs will hear about it.
Very loyal following for these White Eagles. This is Wimet. On the send, we'll get it returned to him. Sweeps it across. Turned over though, Serbia picking it up. Kirill Dimitrov pushed it through into no one, and again it will roll down to Andrei Badescu. Badescu being given plenty of space, tosses it up. Meftu.
Now Meftu is one of the players on Trois-Rivières. He's usually a midfielder, so it's very interesting that for this game they've decided to move him back to defense.
Attempted shot was blocked by one of the White Eagle defenders. This is Joey Cortezi. Cortezi, his chip shot went off of a shoulder of a White Eagle. Rolling down, taken over once again by Serbia, back to midfield. Both teams not really able to possess the ball for much time. Uros Stamatovic handing it off, chasing away is Mirko Medic. He let it go, turned back though by the Attack. Tisminar got in front of that attempted blast, and it's played again to midfield, and Karel Wimet plays it back. Alex Baralatic pushing it up. This is Sasha Vitiknas waiting for it to come down, and this is out of play. They're going to say it went off of Vitiknas. Tossed in by Vitulano. Adrian Tisminar playing it across to the near side. This is Stamatovic. John Hurtis now looking for an opening, tries to push it through, and getting upended was Nikola Budalic. And that brings our first stoppage of the day, and we'll have our first free kick of the game.
And this is that dangerous area we have been speaking of. Serbia, and especially Vitiknas, you know, this is his spot. He's ready to put this one in right away.
what an opportunity for the Serbian White Eagles to come out to a real quick start.
He's normally a lot better coming off of the right side or the left side of the field, so we'll see how he does shooting from the left this time.
Formation spread, the blue wall out in front. Batiscu playing right in the middle of the box. Vitiknis drive, and that's way up over top of the net.
It did look a little bit dangerous, though. There was a nice curve to that ball, very solidly struck.
Vitiknis, plenty of deep breaths. These types of games for players, the hardest to play in just because of how high the adrenaline flows. You want to stay in that nice mid area. You don't want to be too far up, but you can definitely not allow the crowd to get you down.
We can also assume, though, that he's probably going to get a little more gas than some of the other players out there. He's 35 years old now. He is a soccer veteran. So, you know, you get up there in age and you start to kind of lose that athleticism just a bit.
You've got to wonder how many more kicks at the can Sasha Vitiknis is going to have left. Perhaps this is his final dance in the big show. As it was played out, this will be tossed back in by Dragorad Milicevic. Good toss. He was trying to find Hurtis, who was in behind everyone. That was cut off by the attack. And this is played out again. Players having to get balls themselves, going over top of the railing sometimes. It's not usually the case here at BMO Field, as this fine facility usually jam-packed with plenty of red supporters. Not the case today. Still a very good-sized crowd for this game. No one, however, on the concourse, and again, the players needing to pick up the balls themselves. And the ball sent downfield. Going back for it is Mark Jankovic. He loses positioning. Good scoring chance for the attack as a man is pulled down, and Jankovic forced the ball back up high.
What remarkable work by Rome Gosselin, the way that he stuck on that ball. I didn't think there was a chance at all that he was going to catch up to it, but my goodness, he really kept on that.
As it's played out again, this time into the spectator seating. Throw in for Stamatovic. To Vitiknis on the return. Off the body of Kevin Cosette. And an offside call again on the Serbian White Eagles. Meftu. To Ouimet. He'll play it across. Getting it back, Vitiknis thought about going for a run, thought better of it. Shipped up past midfield. Stamatovic got up the ladder with the head. Tossed in ahead, and the flag up again. Vitiknis in ahead of the play. And I think now it is safe to say that's the game plan. Find Vitiknis with the long ball and get him on the run.
You're absolutely right. And ever since his coaching change that we've been talking so much throughout the season, or I guess the postseason about, Serbia has gone for that defense-first mentality. So we're seeing a lot more bodies back, and they're leaving Vitiknis up at that lone striker. All balls are going to be flying up to him. Now, it's going to take a really strong and really careful defensive line for Trois-Rivières to not allow him to make a clean break. They want to push him to make sure he gets offside calls as often as possible if he's going to be hanging up there like he is.
Pushed ahead. This is an attempt for Hurtis. Ouimet getting back for it. Meftu there as well. Hurtis trying to catch up. Meftu lost body positioning on him. Hurtis now looking for someone out in front. Hangs on, tried to slide it through. That was cut off. Pushed back, going to be held back in though by Tisminar for the moment before it's sent back all the way out and down by the attack. And getting knocked down was Uroš Stamatovic by Aguram, perhaps a little bit of an embellishment. And just a bit of a nudge, and that was most definitely a dive. The judges are going to give that a 4-7, though, as the body did not completely reach the turf.
These are two very, very physical teams. They both can play quite aggressively, as we know simply by looking at the card counts that they've accumulated over the season and postseason. But it will take that it'll take that aggressive edge that you obviously need most of the time, but they have to be careful that it's a clean aggression.
Ball played out of bounds once again. And it will be a throw-in for the White Eagles, Uroš Stamatovic. Vitiknis. Light shot, and that was taken easily by Batiscu. Played back into the attack end. Viculano handed it off. Taken now by Felix Cardin. Cardin getting it back off a handoff. Tracking it in is Yannick Rome-Gosselin. Into the area now. This is Maillard to try, and that is well off the mark.
And yes, you did hear correctly. That you're looking at is Pierre Rudolph Maillard. That is Elkanah Maillard's brother. Indeed, he has only played 9 games this season because he has been making so many regular appearances with the Montreal Impact. But now he's in, his brother's out. We'll see how he does tonight.
First corner of the game given to the attack. On the push in, getting up the ladder was Jankovic. And this was not kept in play by number 6, Kevin Cossette. And this will end up as a throw-in.
This is actually Kevin Cossette's only start this season at all. He's normally a great off-the-bench player, but he must be doing something right, because to be starting in this very important game, it's pretty good.
And again, Tisminar getting tackled down as he ended up all tangled with Pierre Rudolph Maillard. Ball pushed back in and taken very easily by Dan Pelk. And again, no real good scoring opportunities to speak of yet. About 15 minutes gone, 14 and a half played in the first half here at BMO.
Nope, there's yet to be that true finish. They're bringing the ball up the field very nicely, but they're just not finding that last connecting piece.
Now, Laura, for teams that have been so successful as these two, is it maybe a fact that there is that more respect for the opponent than you would usually see in the regular season, because these are the 2 top dogs in the league?
I'm not sure, Joe. I would say no. I would say that these 2 teams, with their quite storied past, they probably have very little respect for each other. They probably are out there and they're just going to play with all the grit and determination they have. You know, this season they played twice. Both games played to a 2-1 going both ways. So, you know, this is number 3, the most important one. Will this be, this could make, you know, you were the majority winner of the season, or you're the majority loser of the season.
Tisminar settling things down, gonna play it back, sent through, up to midfield, turning. This is Baralatic, handing it off. Picked off by Ouimet. Meftu. Up top, Tisminar yanked down again. And both teams kind of scrambling for the loose ball. They're going to say it will be controlled by the White Eagles. Tisminar finding Vitiknis. He goes down to Kirill Dimitrov. Dimitrov off the back of Meftu. And the official not liking something. And they're going to say this is going to go, I think, to the White Eagles. Did not see an infraction. But this will be another free kick, and it will be none other than Sasha Vitiknis. A lot tighter, though, than he's used to making.
Now, I would not imagine that he's going to go directly for net on this one. He's got to swing it up top and hope that someone else gets a head on it or something like that.
Vitiknis into the area, and
he went for goal.
Was going for the back of the twine. Play whistled down, though, right off the start. Batiscu.
I think it actually caught Andre Batiscu quite off guard, too. I'm not sure that you ever see someone take a kick from that spot and really wrap it on around in there like that.
Ball chipped back by the White Eagles. Vitiknis trying to catch it up. Meftu beat him to it with the head, and this is played inadvertently out by John Hurtis right into the Serbian bench. Both teams bundled up on the sidelines. A very cool afternoon right by the lake, so getting that lake breeze on this October afternoon. Jankovic.
Now, Jankovic, that is a very interesting character you're looking at there. Now, he actually played for the Montreal Impact in the USL, so he is quite familiar with a lot of the players on the Trois-Rivières team. It's probably the only link that these two teams have to each other in terms of, you know, players that have played together before. Much unlike a lot of the other teams within this league where we've seen a lot of shuffling here and there over the years.
Thrown back into play. 2 minutes shy of the 20-minute mark, still awaiting our first shot on goal. And getting yanked down was number 6, Kevin Cossette. And the Trois-Rivières Attak will receive their first free kick of the match. Choose just to play it off. That was Cortezi. Directed in on goal by Aguram, and an easy save by Dan Pelch.
They're going to need a lot more than that to get something past Dan Pelch. He is just such a fantastic keeper.
Vitiknis overran the balls. It went up over top of his head, staring back in disbelief. Francesco Agustin played it up. That's Aguram. Turning it over, Hurtis looking to play it back. Budalic up ahead, put it in behind the charging Baralatic. Pichulano, no one there, and Serbia takes it back, and then getting it right in the mush was Joey Cortezi, and it's going to be played out. Cortezi shaking off the effects of a very hard ball to the face. As the Serbian supporters continue their chants, they started about 15 minutes before we went to air, and they haven't stopped. And I sure would love to continue well into the night celebrating a second straight Serbian White Eagles CSL championship. Vitiknis pushing it ahead. It was let go by Budalic, and this is going to roll right down to Badescu. Hurtis on the pressure as it's played right up to midfield.
Hurtis has just become such a fantastic player. In the later half of this season, he has really kicked his game up a notch, and he's just become an absolute all-star. Last year, as we've mentioned many times, he played for the Astros, and I bet you they wish they had him on this year.
Played through, a shot was blocked by the foot of, I believe, Mark Jankovic, and this will produce a corner kick for the Attack. It will be taken by Kevin Cossette once again.
One of those teenagers we were talking about, 19 years old Cossette is now, or as his teammates call him, K7.
Cossette chipped it through off the fake. Rome Goslin tried to settle it down. Vichulano kept it in, but turned it over, and Milicevic will send it up the field. This is Hurtis. He was knocked down, much to the chagrin of the Serbian officials in the stands. No call made by the one on the field. Up ahead, Vitiknis. Again, on the run. Great foot, though, by Carl Ouimet as he knocked the ball down right out of midair. Vitiknis getting it from Hurtis, though. He likes it in this area. Right into the middle. Drops it off. A shot was blocked. That one off the foot of Budalic.
Not sure. Budalic maybe should have looked out to his right. Number 19, Kirill Dimitrov, was standing there totally uncovered, and he had probably the best chance on goal out of all of the Eagles that were in the area.
Ball up in the air. Ouimet knocking it down. Cossette brought it down with the head before he was dumped. Budalic got it to Milicevic. Milicevic bringing it up on the push. That was cut off. Milicevic getting it back, though. Pushed it through. Hurtis had that knocked over up into the air before it came to him.
Vitiknis just could not turn that one around.
Charging back is Stamatovic off the turnover. Stamatovic with the high steps. Looking to find someone in the open, playing it into the middle. That was in behind Hurtis. Taken over by Felix Cardin. Good job by Stamatovic to break that play apart. And then colliding were Meftu and Kirill Dimitrov, the ball ending up out of play.
And that looked like it hurt quite a bit. I think that Dimitrov might have got a cleat right in the thigh on that one. Amni Meftu, you're looking at on your screen, number 33. Another one of those teenagers. Moroccan-born, 17 years old right now.
Uroš Stamatovic now. 23 minutes played, still scoreless at BMO, and these supporters definitely now ready for something to cheer about, as we have yet to see still a real good shot on goal. And
The best one yet came off of Vatikna's free kick. But nothing really too dangerous coming out of the Trois-Rivières side. You know, they're really trying to go for that down the wing type of action, bring it down the wing and cross it into the middle, but you know, it seems that there's a bit of a disconnect between their midfielders and their strikers, because the midfielders just aren't playing that ball out wide enough to reach the strikers that are waiting on the outside of the field.
Hurtis trying to catch up to this. It's going to roll out of play as Ouimet chose to let it go. Carl Ouimet very strong so far in the early going in this game, has taken away a few balls from the Serbian White Eagles and played his men very tightly.
He is doing an excellent job, as he has all season long, directing his men and keeping them in a very, very tight line in the back. He's actually the only player who has started every single game that he has played in this season.
Meftu with a good chip. It's knocked away off the head of Jankovic. This is Maillard pushing it back. It's flipped in. Rome Gosselin settling it down. He's got a man quickly on him. Dumped it off, trying to find Meftu.
Oh, he gave that away way too easily.
And that was taken up, I was going to say, by John Hurtis. But a good job by Hurtis to anticipate. And Vitiknis trying to get away, was maybe held up a little bit. Pushed it through. The offside flag is up, though, and the shot off the outside of the net. But a good chance, once again, by the Serbian White Eagles, in great vision by Sasha Vitiknis as he found a man streaking in just two ahead of the play.
Bralatic, number 10, made that great run that he was waiting for that ball to be passed off from Vitiknis, and Vitiknis did it. That's something we don't often see him do. Normally Vitiknis is a player that he knows his strength and he will just keep driving and driving and driving right through. Passed it off to Bralatic, just that touch offside.
Slipped through, taken down by Cosette, and another weak ball picked up by Dan Pelk. Pelk taking his time, pushing the ball right up, giving plenty of space to work with. Will chip it all the way, 3/4 of the field down, taken off the head of Francisco Augustin. This is Tisminar. Booting it through, Meftu. Knock it down with his head, and this is going to end up being played out. Hurtis, quickly though, throwing it back in. Kirill Dimitrov being watched very closely by Meftu. Dimitrov given no quarter, and then it was booted off and out of play, and this is going to end up as a free kick. It looked like it might have gone off Dimitrov inadvertently. However, though, the White Eagles are going to catch a break being given possession. I
thought for sure we were going to see a goal kick come out of that, but no, not at all, actually. That seemed... I am mistaken, and it looks as though the referee's got that completely right.
As this played out again, and the White Eagles will head back for their second consecutive corner. This one all the way across onto the far side of the field. Kirill Dimitrov going to step up for this one.
Serbia really not pushing all of their players forward like we're used to seeing them do for corners.
And Dimitrov, a very weak ball, fortunately though, cleared right back out by Maillard, so we'll do it again.
Quite weak. For that amount of players, you really got to pop it up a bit higher.
Dimitrov, take two into the area, punched away though by Batiscu. Good attention and awareness by the attack keeper. As he brings this ball down and will send it right back. That was Stamatovic, played it off. Baralatic knocking it back. Regarad Milicevic now. Mirko Medic will return it to Jankovic. Plays it up to Medic. Now Baralatic. And too many passes, as getting in the way of that was Mayar, as he had that go off of him out of play.
Alex Bralatic, number 10 for Serbia. He was one of the two players that got those regular time goals in the championship game last year.
Dimitrov played that. We have a stoppage. Swept around to the far side. This is Baralatic. Fancy footwork, lost control though, and the attack will look to bring it back up again though. Good rundown by all the White Eagles in the area. That forces a turnover. Tisminar trying to find a seam. Lost control, getting it back, pushed it through. This is Stamatovic. To Vitiknis. Sasha Vitiknis. Nice tap dance, gives it back to Stamatovic. Stamatovic on the look, off the head, will get it back. Pushing it through up high. This is Dimitrov, a chip, and this nowhere near the net, but even that producing a sharp cheer and cry from the Serbian supporters.
Oh, Dimitrov really, really knows that he should have had that one. He totally did not take the time to control that ball. He just swung at it with his left foot, and it just went off completely the wrong way.
Just didn't realize how much time he had in order to settle it down. Thought it needed to be rushed a lot more, and that could be a case of the nerves in a game like this. We spoke of the nerves, and the adrenaline really does affect the player's performance.
You're right, and possibly that is exactly what happened there, because that is completely unlike him to, you know, give up a chance like that with a lousy shot.
Dimitrov pushing it through, headed in just wide, and Hurtis won't catch up to this. So it will end up a goal kick for the Trois-Rivières Attak, and Andre Badescu just motioned down to the turf with his hands. He's saying, guys, settle down, because they've really been back on their feet. And head coach of the Serbian White Eagles, Dusan Piricic, must certainly be liking what he is seeing out of his troops.
Well, Badescu is right. This Trois-Rivières side does need to calm down quite a bit. You know, Serbia is doing a great job at really setting the tempo at this game. They've made this game quite fast-paced. Trois-Rivières seems to have to play to their pacing now. Serbia is also doing an excellent job of putting so much pressure on Trois-Rivières every time they go near the ball that it's causing them to sort of, you know, have to play it off just so quickly, and they are losing the balls altogether because of that tremendous pressure that they're under. So they really do need to calm it down out there.
Great job just to bring the attack right out of their comfort zone, and that's really what Trois-Rivières was able to do earlier this season, was have teams play into their style, and one of the traits of a real good team is to be able to bring an opponent out of their comfort zone. This is Dimitrov pushing it through again, way more time than he thought he did, and a poor shot off, and Badescu chased that down, and
wow,
bring that.
Badescu really got lucky on that one. I thought for sure that he was going to be carrying that well outside of the box, but he did a great job of releasing it at the right time, and he got a little bit lucky there too. But great job by Badescu keeping control of that right at the very end.
Well, usually in games like this, officials will let something like that go. You want to allow the players to decide the game, and that's really what's happened. All the officials have done a great job today at settling down and just letting the players play.
So far so good. We have not seen very many stoppages at all, and it is exactly the type of soccer that I and you, Joe, we both really like to see.
Played back right to Pelk as Serbia was in a bit of disarray. 32 minutes gone. And we'll have a look.
He knows he's going to step over, and he releases that ball just in the nick of time. And Bralatic just so worried about getting the call that he didn't go in at all for that ball that Badescu had released.
This is Medic. Stamatovic now. Charging across the field. Baralatic pushing it up. No one there. He gave it right away, and Meftu will swing it back. Agaram had it knocked right off of his foot by Tisminar. Great job, though, by Hurtis to keep the ball in play. Off to Dimitrov. Vitiknis on the run in the middle. Looking in front, and this one is chipped well wide of everything.
Well-wasted ball on that. He's it's not his game today, it doesn't seem. But he's got to really settle things down. Control it a little better. He had Hurtis up there, he had Vatiknas up there, he had Bralatic who made that great run along the left-hand side of the field. He's just got to settle it down.
Head coach of the Trois-Rivières Attak, Philippe Eulafroy.
Philippe Eulafroy, who has just won the Coach of the Year award handed out by the CSL, and he has done an excellent job all season long, you know, and he's one of those coaches that had to deal with losing players at certain times because they were being called up to play for the Impact and then, you know, brought back down, but he's done a great job managing his team.
You play with what you've got. You cannot make something out of nothing. All you have to do is be able to make do with the players on your current roster, and that's one thing that both of these teams have done so well. But of course, Trois-Rivières Attak having to deal much more with changes in players, and that is the trait of a true coach. As this ball flies right past Sasha Vatiknas, something that he likes to see, just too fast for him to catch up on the runway. As this is played over top of everyone and will roll out. And Meftu will bring it back in. The sky's darkening here at BMO. The shadows beginning to become a little more prevalent as daylight starts to diminish.
Kevin Cossette, he knew what he wanted to do with that ball, sending it forward. No strikers in sight, though, to make the run for it. You know, you got to be able to release the runner at the right time, but the runners have to be willing to be released.
As this again ends up out of play right in front of the timekeeper and players' benches. Udo Stamatovic, quick throw in again though, and a good read by Kevin Cossette to get his face in front of the ball. Cossette thought about the quick throw in and decided better. Meftu tossing it into play, and again off the foot of Cossette and out. This is Baralatic. He got it across. Milicevic now. We'll just play it back. Jankovic looking for someone to send it to. Took his time with it. Meftu read the play perfectly.
Did not at all get to Vatiknas. It's an intended target.
Meftu once again doing a great job. And this line, especially of Ouimet and Meftu, intercepting passes, reading plays, almost knowing ahead of time where the ball is going and not giving the Serbian White Eagles any of the options that they would like to take.
They've been able to clearly determine exactly the strategy that Serbia is using in this game, and Trois-Rivières is simply playing shutdown when it comes to Vatiknas.
As we have a player down, that is Drago Milicevic, excuse me. Didn't see the infraction, but he seems to be writhing around in considerable pain. We'll have to see if we get a replay on that just to see what happened. As it seems as though he is in a lot of pain. And perhaps a shoulder and elbow right up to the side of the head.
He was jumped into, and that's definitely a foul, but Milicevic in a serious amount of pain right now, it appears, down on the field. Now, he is a player that the Serbian White Eagles, they do not want to lose. They do not want to have him in pain at all. He's had such a strong showing, especially in the playoffs. But after many years with the Eagles, he knows this defense inside and out, and you need him out there on the field.
Vijic, very, very concerned on the far side. And yeah, he just got run in too hard. So Milicevic in a fair amount of pain. And back up to his feet. Seems to be able that he will continue. Although he is laboring, heading off to the sidelines just to catch his breath.
Yeah, I think that he took that right in the stomach, and I think he's either a bit winded or he looks as though he might, well, he did anyways. I thought he was going to vomit out there. I was kind of turning my head away a bit.
Medic back into the game. And Dan Pelch really up high, almost right in the middle of the White Eagle zone.
Yet they don't have a lot of bodies forward. They're really not taking those kicks from that area in the proper way. You got to move a lot more players up there. You know, you've got your goalie out so high, but your defenders are just standing around. You might as well just let them take one of the kicks. Normally it's because you want to have that many more players up top to get those balls too.
This is Meftu pushing it ahead, and again, this will not find any intended target. Tisminar couldn't settle it down as it's sent back. Cosette. This is Cortezi pushing it through. Aguram on the run, trying to get some room. Will just play it back and settle it down. Buying some time for him. Into the middle and cleared aside. Going to say Yankovic was right on top of him, playing him very tight. Dimitrov. The ball comes down back to the turf. Was boxed out, and they're going to call Dimitrov on the foul. We met. Pushed it through. Maftu does not catch up to it. I thought maybe he got his foot on the ball before it passed the touchline.
I thought so too. That was a very close one, but the linesman seemed awfully certain about that one.
Hurtis pushes it back. Yankovic. Hook to the far side. Settling it down is Baralatic. That is out of play on the far side. And again, another turnover. Roughly 5 minutes of regulation time still remaining in the first half, awaiting our first goal and our first flourish.
Quite a few things need to change for both of these teams going into the second half, and I think we might see a bit of a strategy adjustment in the second half.
And we now have an attack player down. I believe that's Pierre-Rudolph Maynard, who could very well just be cramping up as the temperatures are dropping here at BMO.
He does come from a very long line of, he's got quite the soccer lineage in him. Like we said, you know, not only Elkanah Maillard, who we all know very well from watching him play on the attack this year, but there's another brother that plays on the national team and represents Haiti. The Maillards, they're just a soccer family.
Chipped up all the way down into the White Eagle end. This will be taken by Dan Pelch. Pelch walking the ball up. Good hard send all the way down into the attack end. Milicevic seems to have shaken off the effects of that injury. Sent up, and they're going to call that offside, I believe. Or
that ball was out, and it was a late call by the linesman on that one.
Confusion up in the booth as to what was happening. That was a late call. This is Baralatic. Pushed it into the middle. Canceled off. Yankovic going it over the top of John Hurtis, played by Badescu. Flipped ahead on the run. Here come the attack. This is Rome Goslin, played it into Yankovic's feet, and Tisminar will just play it off to Baralatic.
Aguram was ready and waiting for that ball to be fed right back to him, but unfortunately Rome Goslin just could not feed it to him.
This is played out by the attack. As Pierre-Rudolph Maillard also shaking off the effects of an injury. Baralatic tried to catch the throw in. That ended up being deflected into the seats. And we will do this again. The pace of the game has certainly seemed to have slowed down in the last little bit. Both teams, again, very tentative, not wanting to make a mistake. And the police officers here getting a ruse from the crowd. The security detail is up. The Serbian supporters, they like to celebrate.
The pacing of this game has slowed down quite a bit. It seems as though both of these teams know that with their strategies they have going, they're really not going to be able to get anything happening. It just seems like they know that they need to go into the locker room and really make some adjustments at halftime.
Chipped in, and this will go over the top of Dan Pelch. Stays in play, though, as Maillard tries to run it down. This is going to end up out. And a throw-in for Trois-Rivières. Immediately played back in. Maillard booting it in. Getting up the ladder was Medic. He cleared it away. Meftu working it back. This is Ouimet to the far side. Pushed up, and this is going to go to no one as it will roll off the railing. And the White Eagles, in the dying moments of regulation time, will take over. And again, played out off the foot of a charging Joey Cortezi. Uroš Stamatovic on the throw-in. And again, played out by Cortezi. He seems to just be going wherever the ball is and just happy to stop the play.
Cortezi has really been hugging this line all game and really forcing these balls out.
Meftu had that bounce up over top of him. Played into the middle and back out. Dimitrov and Meftu collided. They both went down in a heap. Dimitrov back up to his feet. Meftu yet to get back to his base as the ball was played out.
Meftu realizing that the foul is not being given after he looks up to the linesman, then decides to get up to his feet.
Figured I better start playing again. What I want is not going to happen. As we await the announcement now as to how much extra time has been given. And 2 minutes, we can tell you, has been added to the first half.
2 minutes actually seems like quite the significant amount, especially because there really has not been very many stoppages at all in this first half.
Is that drive out of play? So a very tentative first 45 minutes of regulation time completed. We'll have the 2 extra minutes prior to the halftime. Played up by the attack. Knocked down by Yankovic. This is Hurtis being watched by Cosette. Got it up. It's going to be taken over, though, by Trois-Rivières. What a lift this would be for the attack if they were able to get a goal late.
I gotta say, Hurtis is playing so much deeper, so much more defensively than I have ever seen him play. He's almost playing as like a wing back sometimes. It's very strange because he is such a strong attacker. To have him positioned so far back, it seems like you're not letting such a creative player play to the best of his ability.
This is Baralatic. Couldn't quite catch up to it. It's played out. The supporters here at BMO Field wrapped up very tightly on a chilly Saturday night in Toronto. Work back up and played off of Maillard and out. Stamatovic. Off of the foot of Dimitrov. Stamatovic now trying to get into a good shooting position. Handed it off. Buralic sent it through. Baralatic trying to catch up to it. Baralatic spinning. Had that blocked. Got it back. Baralatic up. Milicevic, his shot was turned aside. Buralic, as the whistle will sound, to end the first half here at BMO. We are scoreless as these two teams, there have been times where the pace has been quite up-tempo and then at times very tentative and afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah, it was only about the very, very end of this game that the pace really started to slow down, but we'll have a lot more to talk about, so stick around for our halftime show coming up right after this.
Trois-Rivières and Serbia deadlocked after 45. You're watching the CSL Championship on Rogers TV. Scoreless after 45 minutes here on Rogers TV at BMO Field. The championship game in the 2009 CSL season, the Trois-Rivières Attak and the Serbian White Eagles. Nothing to speak of as of yet on Rogers TV. Welcome back into the booth. Joe Pogue and Laura Baldessera. And after 45 minutes, Laura, it seemed as though there were almost two games here being played. One very up-tempo, and then towards the end of the first half, things really seemed to settle down. Yeah, both teams knew that their strategies were not working all that well. So right now at halftime, they're really going to need to regroup and come out with a different strategy. Serbia, they're doing a great job of really trying to work that ball up straight to Vitiknes, but the Trois-Rivières defense is just so strong that they are totally unable to break through it at all. Highlights from the first half. You're not going to see any goals. Couple of good chances, though, and Sasha Vitiknes almost made something right out of nothing as the Serbian supporters came out in full force. Sir Vitiknes, again, his free kicks were the best chances that Serbia had this entire game. He had two of them that were just great. The second one, which we will see coming up, it was from such a small angle that it was amazing that he actually went in there and tried to go for goal. First half summary here on Rogers TV. The shots 5-3, very generous. Not too many good scoring opportunities. Free kicks 4 apiece, corners 3-2, and no cards to speak of as of yet. Which, you know something, that's pretty shocking because both these teams, they are known for their physicality and their roughness, and for them to, neither of them to have had any cards and really not too many fouls all game either, that's pretty impressive. So, nothing decided as of yet in the first half. 45 minutes remaining in the 09 CSL season. A lot to be decided between the Attak and the White Eagles. We will have more. Stay with us. CSL on Rogers TV. Welcome back inside BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario, set for the second half of the 2009 CSL Championship final between the Trois-Rivières Attak and the Serbian White Eagles. Rita Aguram and Yannick Rome-Goslin warming up after the break in between the two halves. The Attak will start off the second half in control, going left to right on your screen. And the Attak right away are going to lead a lot more attack coming out of them. They're playing way too defensively. Even when, you know, they're trying to clear balls, Serbia is just taking them over again right away because there's not enough players being left up even at midfield to collect any sort of clearance. This is Milicevic to Baralatic. Headed back in by Budalic. Baralatic into the area, swept away though. This is Aguram. Plays that inadvertently out of bounds. That was intended for Pierre-Rudolph Maillard. This will be Dragorad Milicevic. Tossing it into play. Good job by Baralatic to get the head and keep the ball alive, at least for the moment. Baralatic has been very good all night so far, really continuing on through the play, really not giving up on those balls that easily a lot of players would give up on. So Shane Lamy, as you hear the public address announce, has entered the game. Now Shane Lamy, this guy is attack driven. He doesn't normally get the start, and we are seeing once again he's on the bench, coming off the bench, and every time he does come off the bench, he is very, very good. He got 4 goals in the 11 games he played this season.
and he gets awfully feisty out there, and he'll really be driving to the net.
This is the aforementioned Lamy. Trying to work his way open and then shoved down by Francesca Augustine. And Augustine, fortunate he was not carded. As it will be Sasha Vitiknas on the free kick.
Yeah, that was a bit of a push there, and you are right, Joe. That was that could have easily been a card, but that was the first time the referee has had to call him on a foul tonight, so that's why. But now Vitiknas steps up to what he does best.
We thought he might not try for goal in the first half. He did so, hooks it now into the box, and it's cleared away easily by the Attack. Swept up ahead, going to be headed back, and you just get the feeling that the Serbian White Eagles initiating the play a little bit more, and perhaps that could tilt the scale in their favor later down the road.
Serbia is again all over this ball. They're right off the top, they're putting the pressure on, and they're really trying to get things moving a lot more. Now we see the one key change that has been made at halftime is now we have two strikers hanging on up there for Serbia instead of that lone one, Sasha Vitiknas. Now Shane Lamy is up there assisting him, and it's going to be those two guys that they're going to look for the long ball coming at them, ready to make that run.
The Serbian fans once again continue their chants. They'd stopped for a little bit, out for a smoke at halftime, but were sure to get back into their seats prior to. And this is a handball that's called as Aguram was fired down right in the area. And he is slow to get back to his feet. On the replay, and he was shoved hard, knocked right down on the AstroTurf at BMO.
That was a very well struck ball, and I'm not certain why we did not see him get a card on that, because that was a deliberate handball. I think that perhaps him being shoved in the back by the Serbian player maybe counteracted it, but nonetheless, that was quite deliberate.
Racing away now are the Attack. Pushed through, that was Kevin Cossett who was upended. Meftu. Shoved it in. This is Tisminar. Budalic, back to Tisminar. Light touch movement for Serbia, trying to find Lamy up the field. This one screams out. And again, both teams very tentative in the early going, not want to make a mistake. Almost, if this was a regular season game, could be saying they're playing for a tie.
It does seem that way. Now, if we look back through the history of Serbia and Trois-Rivières, normally their games come out with a decent score. In the 13 times these two teams have met, the goal ratio goes 19 for Serbia to 14 for Trois-Rivières. So we know that they're both, they like to get goals against each other. Seems to be only a matter of time on this one.
Ichulano putting it into the box, cleared away by the White Eagles. Tisminar looking to try to get something going, finds Lamy. He's got Vitiknas away on the near side in the middle. Lamy hangs on to it though. Tries the move, and then it's knocked right off his foot, and this will roll out. And a corner for the White Eagles.
Lamy, what a great positioning he got himself into, and he anticipated that ball and he worked with it. He could not cross that ball over to Vitiknas because Vitiknas was well offside. So he did a very good job of working what he had, and he earned a great corner off of that run.
Vitiknas way out, and an easy grab for Batiscu. Plays it down. Vichulano. Into the middle. Mayard back to Vichulano. To Mayard. Rome Goslin now. To no one as it's eaten up by Milicevic. Opportunity for the Attack. Knocked away by the head of Janovic now into the area. They keep jamming away at it and not being able to take it cleanly was, I believe, Yannick Rome-Gosselin, and the White Eagles dodge a bit of a bullet early.
Oh, that was unbelievable. I thought we were going to see something spectacular there as Yannick Rome-Gosselin was just hanging out in the perfect spot, waiting for that ball to be sent to him. But what a great job by that Serbian defense managing to force it out of play. And then they get a goal kick. They didn't even, Trois-Rivières didn't even manage to get a corner out of that.
Played up to just past midfield. Lemmy had it in the air, finding it down. This is Vitiknis on the run. Sasha Vitiknis trying to box his man out, and this ends up going out of play. The elder statesman with the throw in. One has to wonder if perhaps this is his last chance at a CSL championship. Should note, no one from the national division has won the CSL championship. It's been Italia, Croatia, and then Serbia, at least in the new age. Lammy with an opportunity, yanked down.
And that is a penalty kick for Serbia as he is pulled down.
Lammy in all kinds of pain. The supporters in sheer jubilation, and what a chance now for the Serbian White Eagles.
Mike Vitulano just gets into him completely, throws his entire body into that tackle. Could have tried to wrap around, get in there with one leg, but he did all he could, throwing his body into it, and now it will be Sasa Vitiknes, the captain, to step up and face off one-on-one against Badescu.
Vitiknes, and what a chance this is to put Serbia ahead. Vitiknes and Badescu one-on-one. This place could erupt if he finishes. Vitiknes put it over top of the net. And the cries from the supporters. What an opportunity for Sasha Vitiknes to start this off right.
As we see him, he runs up, he tries to pull that sneaky Cristiano Ronaldo style penalty kick with that little run stop, run kick. Did not work for him as he blew that one far over top of the net.
And you gotta wonder if that is gonna come back to haunt the Serbian White Eagles. Trois-Rivières would love to make them pay right here. This is Cossetti, lost control. It'll be played back up. This is Cardan throwing it back up into the air, and this will be taken over by Jankovic. Pushing it up, and this is well out of play.
Reda Aguram is having so much difficulty getting the ball around Jankovic. Jankovic just a huge player out there, and he uses his size very, very well. Aguram just cannot win any sort of bounce because he's doubled in size by Jankovic.
Medic, great job to win that ball and then sliding it out, and this should only end up as it's
Mike Vitulano, red card. There he is on the side for that tackle inside the 18-yard box, but you know, didn't get that penalty kick, so Trois-Rivières comes away lucky, but now they are in a situation they are very, very, very familiar with. 10 men out there for them.
not the game that you want to be playing with 10 men. Short-handed, Trois-Rivières now for the rest of the match. And you can start to feel now perhaps the tension beginning to build.
Trois-Rivières was already being outplayed by Serbia, so now with one less man out there for them, it just seems only a matter of time before we see Serbia get up there on the scoreboard.
Mayard to Cortezi, that was taken away. Cosette now swinging it across, settling it down is Yannick Rome-Gosselin. He's got a man all over him, played it back inadvertently under the pressure, getting it returned to him. This is Agaram. Couldn't do anything with it as he was dumped. Collecting is Budalic. Slid it off. Passed up to Shane Lammy, and he can't keep it in as he didn't control the pass completely. Milicevic on the throw-in. Finds Budalic. Tisminar. Vitiknis. Medic now, who has checked into this game. And he missed Baralatic with that pass completely.
That was well beyond him on that one.
And you've got to wonder now about Sasha Vitiknis not hitting the penalty kicks. This was from a recent game, and he was just money from just about everywhere. Bullets right underneath the bar. So a missed penalty, very uncharacteristic of Sasha Vitiknis.
Well, you know, we're so used to seeing him take free kicks from such a far distance out, normally around 30 yards, maybe just a little bit closer. But I guess when he gets to the spot, it's too close for him.
He just shanked that. That was all. He got a little too fancy and just shanked it. Pushing it in, now opportunity, knocking for the attack, and a nice grab by Dan Pelch. Pushed ahead, Lammy on the run, flags down, keeps it in play, and then it's knocked out by number 20, Carl Ouimet.
What a great job by Shane Lammy, running that ball all the way down the field and then carefully and very skillfully playing it off of Ouimet to earn Serbia a corner.
And Serbia just starting to take over this game. Very slightly, very subtle. Bad play by Batascu as he dove out, but fortunately no harm done as it was swept away by the attack defense.
I don't know what Batascu was thinking on that one. That is the second time we've seen him come very, very, very far out of his net. He almost got himself into trouble that time, much like in the first half when he did the same thing.
"30 minutes of regulation time remaining in the season." Pushed ahead, redirected, and this is going to end up rolling well out. And picked up by Dragorad Milicevic. And now Laura, would like to get your thoughts on the two heroes from each team. Who's it going to be?
The two heroes tonight?
One from each team. You have a pick.
Well, I would say that Serbia's hero tonight is Mike Vigilano so far. Yes, I know he's a Trois-Rivières player, but him being knocked out of the game, you know, that gives such a great advantage to Serbia. There has not been a star player on either of these teams so far, which is why I joke about this. No one has really stood out. Shane Lammy, he's getting there. He's the only player so far that's really making those runs and anticipating where their balls are going to be. So far, he's doing a great job, but we'll see what happens as the game goes on.
So we'll have to see. Are you going with Lammy then for the winning goal?
Oh, don't put pressure on me like that, Joe.
I think it'll go down for me. I'll be calling probably Sasha Vitiknis, and I'll go ahead off the page and say Kevin Cossette. Baralatic. This is Hurtis, and he was thinking about maybe catching Batascu well out of his net, but the shot was off the mark.
Hey, I liked it. I like that he took a shot from that distance. You know, it was totally unexpected by, you could see, all of the defenders and by Badescu. So they got very lucky the way that ball was misstruck.
The wind picking up here at BMO Field. The Serbian flags in the stands at full mast, rippling in the wind as the temperature just keeps dropping. And as the temperature drops, the intensity picks up.
Serbia preparing at any moment to make a substitution as soon as this ball is stopped and the referee will allow it. It is set to be Sisovic, who will be coming in. You know, he was brought in with the new coaches, and he is a solid striker. So we're seeing now Serbia They've changed from that defense-first mentality, and they're going to be really pushing forward to that offense-driven game.
Well, they smell blood. The attack shorthanded, and the Serbian White Eagles desperate to capitalize. This is a long shot up over top of the net, off the foot of, I believe, Uroš Stamatovic. So it will be Alex Baralatic coming off for the night. And as you heard Lara say it, Nikola Sišović will check in.
Baralatic, you know, he was in the right spots all game tonight. However, the balls just were not finding him. He has been a great player all this year. He was really promoted and saw a lot more starting opportunities for himself this year, and he earned himself 6 goals this season. Sišović, however, he was the hero of the game, the defeat over Croatia in the second leg of the semifinals. He scored with just 3 minutes left in overtime. So we'll see if he can earn himself the game winner in tonight's game.
You hear the official announcement on the public address system at BMO Field. And the Serbian supporters, like all of us, bundled up very, very closely as a cool, brisk night. The final leg of the CSL season. All the storylines now have been forgotten. It is just go, go, go. Last year, we can point out again that 1-0 in penalties, the CSL championship was awarded to the Serbian White Eagles. And that is what it's all about, the CSL Cup. And at some point tonight, whether it is in regulation or extra time, perhaps even penalties again, that will be awarded to one of these two teams.
There are 3 placards on that cup already, beginning in 06. And the one that will be the 2009 CSL Championship has been removed and is awaiting somewhere for a name to be engraved on it.
Sasovitiknis picking himself up off the pitch. This is Jankovic. Tisminar laying it back to Mirko Medic. To Jankovic again. Dragorad Milicevic. To Hurtis. To Milicevic on the run. Tried to pull it through as he was spilled by Aguram, getting back up to his feet now. Tisminar cutting the pass off. Tracking it into the midfield. Booting it down on the run. Trying to catch up to it. A dangerous play. And sliding out was Badescu as he took that from Meftu, as charging in was Uroš Stamatovic.
Great job by Badescu on that one.
Tisminar. He finds an open man on the far side, pushed in. This is for Shane Lamy, taking it. He was fought off by Francesco Augustin, and again, the ball ending up out of play.
Francesco Augustin doing another terrific job of thwarting the imminent threat.
Corner taken by Vitiknes off the head of Mirko Medic and out of play. And it just seems right now that the Serbian White Eagles are just missing their chances. And with a team like this, sooner or later, something's got to give. And for the Trois-Rivières Attak, it just doesn't seem to be happening tonight. They're not getting the chances.
This is when we are going to see what Trois-Rivières coach Felipe Ulifroy is made of and has up his sleeve. You know, like we said, he is the coach of the year this year. Now let's see what he can do in a situation like this when they are down a man, when it is the second half of the most important game of the year.
The chants continue at BMO from the Serbian supporters. The sky is black, the air is cold, and the chances are becoming a little more and more for the Serbian White Eagles.
And Trois-Rivières now is making their first substitution of the game. On comes Guillaume Héroux. Off will be coming Yannick Rome-Gosselin, who has played very well this evening. However, the difference between him, Rome-Gosselin as a striker, and Guillaume Héroux, Guillaume Héroux is a heck of a lot more gritty. He's awfully dirty out there. He is no stranger to red cards. He has had 3 direct ejections this game. 1 coming on in the last game, or the first of the semifinal games against Italia for violent conduct. So he's going to be a very physical presence out there on the pitch right now, and that just be what needs to happen for this Trois-Rivières side if they are going to earn anything being down a man.
Héroux needing to be very careful, though, as he does not want to put his team in any further of a hole. You mentioned all those red cards, and the attack could not bear to go down another man. Ball pushed ahead and Hurtis couldn't get up on the run as he was ahead of the play as it was. And Battescu will settle it down. Pushed right in through. Aguram settling it down, and it's knocked out by Milicevic. Debris spreading right across the field as the wind continues to blow in off the lake. A strong cold gust on the October night. Playing it ahead are the attack. That was attempted for Aguram, and again an easy save for Dan Pelch. Pelch with plenty of time with a high boot. This is going to toss down to the attack as it did not reach the intended target of Budalic. Lemmy playing it across. This is Sisovic. Hanging on, sending it in, and scooping it up is Battescu, and he went down to the turf as he came out to make that save after colliding with Nikola Budalic. And the training staff is going to need to come out. He has not moved.
No, he has not at all.
This is definitely not good. Simon Lagarde is the backup goaltender.
He is indeed. Simon Lagarde has played in 7 games this season. You know, he's only allowed 4 goals. He's also shut out 4, so he is a quite capable goalkeeper. But you don't really want to have to change your goalie in a game like this.
Taking a look at one of the throw-ins by Emin Meftou. Meftou not used to having to have those duties as a defender. And Andre Battescu back up to his feet after the collision and seems to be shaken up a little bit. He's going to stay in the game. Gives the neck a bit of a crack and gives the ball a pop. As we have hit the 70-minute mark, 20 minutes remaining in regulation time, still waiting the first goal of the game, and then Aguram ends up going right into the Serbian bench on the run.
Oh, and he looks to have possibly injured himself quite a bit there as he just manages to run right into it. That is rubber siding alongside of this pitch that you are looking at.
It looked like he kind of tripped where the turf and the siding ends. We can tell you that, yeah, he caught his foot and then just about face planted. We've got a substitution coming.
And this is awfully shocking, this substitution. Vitiknez is out of the game, and it will be Victor Anastasev that is coming in. Reda Aguram, though, he is still down and injured. Now, as I was saying, this rubber siding alongside of this pitch, you know, it's important to have because you don't want to just go to concrete, but at the same time, it is such a different texture than the actual turf, AstroTurf, that they are playing on. So to stop that suddenly, very, very dangerous, and Aguram really felt it on that.
Aguram back up and moving after coming in.
Now, Victor Anastasev is a very interesting substitution for this game. Serbia has opted to take off a striker and put on a midfielder. A midfielder who has only played in 12 games this season and has not seen very much game time at all. But perhaps the new coaches, Pirjic and Sirkic, have seen something in him that the old coach, Rafael Carvajal, did not.
Getting upended was, I believe, Kevin Cossette. Tisminar looking on in disbelief, saying, "Who, me?" This will produce a free kick for the Attack. So I'm going to go ahead and change my prediction now on the winning goal.
Yeah, I guess you have to. So do I win right away by default on that, or what?
Have you submitted picks yet? I don't think that the picks have been submitted.
I didn't think you'd remember.
I'm going to go ahead now and change it. Perhaps to Shane Lamy or John Hurtis, one of the two. Hurtis has been moving his feet well and has had a couple balls roll to him. So we'll go with Hurtis, and then I'm going to keep with Kevin Cossette.
Well, Jonathan Hurtis is quite capable. He has scored a heck of a lot. He has scored more goals in the playoffs this year than he has throughout the entire season.
This is work back. And Batascu showing no ill effects of his injury, playing it up. Now again, would like to hear your take on taking out your captain and arguably your best player in the final of the season.
I think it's quite strange. I think that Vitiknes has been in this game, on the team, always playing through every game this entire season. We only saw him being subbed off in the very, very late minutes of every match. And he is the only guy out there that can score off those free kicks. And that is how Serbia has been able to win so many of their games so far. So it is quite interesting.
Played back. Here's a hard drive, and this is going to get up into the seats at BMO Field, up into about the third row. And we're going to throw it down to Arda, down with an update. Arda?
Thank you very much, guys. You're seeing a shot of Kirill Dimitrov, who was substituted at halftime. In fact, he has an injury to his left quad. He's been tendering that left quad. I just had a chance to speak with him briefly, and he's mentioned that he's hobbling around on that leg, and that's the reason that he was actually substituted from this game, guys.
Thank you very much, Arda. So Dimitrov, a good major piece out of the game. Here comes Lamy. Lamy offside as he was just in ahead of the play. But as I was going to say, Dimitrov, another key cog, and maybe without him, that is why the thinking pattern has changed a little bit. You've lost a little bit of your core and have started to juggle your lineup, which is a little odd and inopportune, especially this late in the game.
Yeah, Kirill Dimitrov, he kind of flew under the radar a lot this year, as we've really been only able to highlight players like Vitiknes and Jonathan Hurtis. But Kirill Dimitrov, as the midfielder role that he was put into playing after being moved back from striker, he really helped control the game for Serbia. Without him, the ball does not move around as smoothly, and there really isn't another player out there for Serbia that has the foresight like Dimitrov does.
This is Shishovic trying to find Hurtis. Had trouble settling the ball down. It's going to be knocked back, though. This is Hurtis with the chance, and it goes off of, I believe, Francesco Augustin.
And Hurtis and Victor Anastev, really, miscommunication there led to that one going awry.
So this should produce a corner, and that's exactly what it's going to be, and it will be Nikola Budalic who will take the corner as, again, no Vitiknes, no real main punch off the ball. So Budalic with a light rolling ball, it's just sitting around, no one really able to get to it. Tisminar was in the vicinity, but couldn't make good when it came around. Almost seemed like everyone was almost afraid to touch the ball there.
Tisminar
backed off.
That's right, Tisminar number 22, he just sort of watched it trickle by him, and he really should have gotten in there and tried to get a foot on the ball.
This is played again out of the surface, and once more you get the sense that the Trois-Rivières Attak having trouble matching the tempo and the speed and the comfort level of the Serbian White Eagles, and one has to wonder if eventually that is going to start to wear them down.
You're right, and this is typical when you see a team that has gone down a man. Normally they will not be in possession of the ball for the most amount of time, and they will end up playing to the other team's pacing and tempo. However, you know, you gotta hand it to Trois-Rivières. They are doing a great job of really filling up all the space on the field with a man short. However, like we were saying, they've been used to this situation all season long, so, you know, it really came in handy. They were really able to sort of prepare for a situation like this.
77.5 minutes gone as we still await the opening goal and what looks like could be the winning goal of this match. Is repeat in the cards for the Serbian White Eagles, or sweet revenge for the Trois-Rivières Attak? As it will be thrown in now by the Attack. Meftu looking for someone open, paints it down. This is Cosette. Chipped it up into the air. Yankovic seen enough of this and will push it out and concede the corner.
Trois-Rivières have really not taken their corners very well this game. They really need to get a lot more height on this ball. They really need to get a lot more bodies filled up inside the area.
As one is thrown back, that ball ended up actually in the seats. So a new one being dished out, and the formation all across the area. And all eyes on Kevin Cosette now. Cosette with an opportunity in the air. This pops up into the box and will be taken away. No harm done. It was Cortezi pushing it through. Cosette now with a little bit of room. Had the ball jump up on him. Couldn't settle it down right off the hop. Into the area, and Yankovic with the easy intercept will play it out.
The support came late for him in that situation.
Oh, Shane Lammy just went right into the railing. Driven right in. You could hear the impact from up here on the chase. He is down and hurt.
Lammy appears to be in a significant amount of pain.
This could be trouble. He slipped on the rubber and then went right into that padded railing at that speed, and it's the second time we've seen that tonight.
So I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not sure that this rubber padding is necessarily the best option around the pitch.
Well, when you have players that are so used to playing in stadiums like this with the kind of turf and the padding surrounding it, probably isn't such a bad idea. But when you have such a wide out of bounds area on grass fields and other fields that we've seen, the change is probably the biggest difference.
Yeah, there really is not much room between the line and the end of the AstroTurf at this field at all. Luckily here at BMO there will be a grass turf, a real grass turf put down before the beginning of the next MLS season.
10 minutes remaining now in regulation time. And it looks more and more like we will be headed to the 2 additional 15 minutes. And then, of course, if needed, a penalty shootout.
Within these two teams' meeting history, they have played to 3 draws. Serbia's come out with the victory 7 times. Trois-Rivières has won 3 times. And 3 draws were in there too.
This is Hurtis pushing it ahead. Lammy back up onto his feet, showing no ill effects of that injury. Joey Cortezi and the rest of the Trois-Rivières Attak down a man and trying to make do with what they've got. And a very chilly crowd here at BMO to witness the action. As this ends up out of play off the foot. Victor Anastanov.
Much pressure being put on him by number 5, Joey Cortese. Canadian national selection player he is, and he is a very, very physical player who is not afraid to sacrifice his body to win a ball at any time. He is also a very versatile player. We've seen him play as a defender, as a midfielder, all around quite skilled soccer player at just 21 years of age.
This will be Batiscu playing again. High up, past midfield, knocked down. This is Budalic on the run, dishes it off. Not able to catch up to it was Sišović. Played back, Curtis. Thinking about charging up, has it rolled to him, and offside, much to the chagrin of the fans and players of the White Eagles.
Oh, I think that maybe that one was a little bit eager, that call. I'm not sure that Curtis was offside. I thought he did a very good job of touching the ball very slowly so that he did not earn himself an offside call.
Pushed up by the Attack. Tisminar bobbled off, taken over by the Attack again. This is Maillard. His shot blocked and then hitting the turf in some discomfort is trying to see who that is. That I believe that could be Mark Yankovic. As he took that drive hard, it is Yankovic down in the discomfort.
Trois-Rivières about to make another substitution, but we'll take another look at where Yankovic got hit. Joe?
Not the most pleasant place to be hit. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, I thought I'd throw to you on that one.
And as it gets colder here, that area will hurt more and more. And coming out is Kevin Cossette. So both of my picks for winning goal have been taken off for the night. Coming on will be number 21 for the Trois-Rivières Attak.
One of those very youthful players that we have seen play so well. This is Chris Mikel Rumeri, the 17-year-old from Burundi that has made such an impact on this Attack team this season. You know, he's one of those players that really came out of nowhere, totally off the radar, but the impact, or Trois-Rivières Attak noticed him, scooped him on up, and he has been a difference maker every time he's been put into this game.
If you're following along at home with the roster, Rumeri is listed as number 27 on the Attack website. So should you be following along with the program, keeping score at home, change the number there from 27 to 21 for Chris Michel Rumeri. Pushed ahead. This is Maillard now. Maillard looking for something, and he chips that up into the uprights, and the field goal is good as Rumeri charges back to his own end. Kevin Cossette out of tonight's match with only 4.5 remaining in regulation time. So this one coming right down to the wire. Aguram lost control. He was tripped up by Milicevic. That will bring about another whistle. As Aguram has not been able to get anything going tonight. He's been played in such close quarters.
Serbia has done a very good job of really covering up the players quite well on Trois-Rivières, not giving them any time with this ball. The pressure has been constantly put on them right from the get-go.
Cortese, that ball ending up going right into the face of one of the White Eagle players, and the play still continuing. It's finally pushed out, and trying to again see who that is, and is that Yankovic again?
No, I think it's Mirko Medic this time. He's sporting the captain's armband now after Vitiknes has been subbed off.
And we will await for play to resume here. And the training staff being sent off. Hit him on the arm, not the face, so a bit of embellishment from Mirko Medic.
I think his own hand ended up slapping his face. He might have given himself a little backhand slap on that one. Mirko Medic, take another look at him. Your former CSL All-Star. Great, well-rounded player.
And this will be a throw-in for the White Eagles as the time now continues to tick. 2:40 left in regulation. And is a member of the training staff just been ejected for the Serbian White Eagles? And that is exactly what's happened.
From our vantage point, we cannot exactly hear or see what may have happened down there on the pitch to earn a member of the or the Serbian White Eagles staff that ejection, but hopefully.
So an ejection due to the fact that he was on the playing surface without the permission of the official. So the training staff down a man, and again an almost near catastrophe with the railing, and this time Chris Michel Roumery.
I'd say that was probably a little bit harsh. I hadn't seen him be warned at all night by the fourth official on the sidelines, but who knows? From where we are, Joe, in our luxurious press box here at BMO Field, we don't have the best eyes or ears for that sort of thing.
And we can tell you 3 minutes has been given to this half. Pushed in through, Lamy in the vicinity, but bringing that down was Andre Batescu. High toss up the field. Taking that off the head was one of the attack forwards. This is Auguram. It will be played out. And you've got the feeling now that it's the old go home to supper, next goal wins type of mentality. A single minute remaining in regulation. And only that plus the 3 minutes separates us from the mini game in overtime.
Neither of these teams necessarily want to go to that, so you know, I would expect to see a lot of attack come out of both of these teams now, as it's basically next goal could win.
Milicevic pushing it up. Charging in now. This is Hurtis trying to settle something down. Hurtis having that go off the foot of Augustin and out of play.
And there it is. It's not just that he walked on the pitch. That would have been fine, but he went right up to the referee and started saying things to him, and that is a definite no-no.
So 3 minutes given. Now we are in the added time. And the attack looking to avenge a loss from last season's championship, while the Serbian White Eagles look to do it again. Curtis pushing it through on the run. This is Anastanov. Couldn't control the pass, and it was knocked out of play. Carl Ouimet, very strong game defensively. The tension now can be felt from miles away. You can cut it with a knife despite the cold air here at BMO. This is Hurtis into the area, and Lamy was pulling away from the ball. He ended up bringing himself down instead of making contact. And what a chance that was for Shane Lamy to perhaps put an end to this.
Oh, you'd think that in a situation like this, it's those mistakes made by the other team that you should really be able to capitalize on, and you can bet Shane Lamy's got to be a bit disappointed in himself after that.
Auguram will play it up. And this is just sent back to Dan Pelch, who has had really nothing to deal with thus far tonight. Yankovic pushing it up. And you've got to wonder maybe if Trois-Rivières just playing for the shootout. They haven't had anything good offensively, and maybe try and just get it to a penalty kick shootout. Is Vitiknas able to shoot, actually, if he's been taken out of the game?
No, he's not. It's just the players that are remaining on the pitch at the end of the time allotted.
So perhaps that is the mentality. You don't have to worry about the super striker. And Shane Lammy clarifying something with the official. 1 minute remaining now in the added time. We are 60 seconds until the necessity of overtime. Battescu sending it up. This is Budalic leaving it for Hurtis. What could be the final play of the year. Anastanov being forced out by Rumary. Gets a step, and Anastanov looking, finding a man. Budalic to drive up over top of the net.
Oh, and that was one of the best opportunities they had. Serbia had all game, and how unfortunate Budalic just unable to control the ball and just shoots it wildly outside of the net.
Not able to land the payload on the target. Ball pushed ahead. And there is the whistle. We have completed 2 full halves. Unbuckle the seatbelt, take a breath, but don't go away. We aren't done yet. 30 minutes of overtime to follow to finish up this game as we try to figure out just which one of these teams will hoist the CSL championship. And Laura, while it might not be the most exciting game of the season we've seen, it definitely produces a very anticipating finish.
I think it's bound to get a whole lot more exciting now, as the whole mentality behind this game has got to shift. Serbia, they got to come closer, create less space between their passes. Trois-Rivières, they need to spread out a little bit more and make up for the room that it cannot be filled by the one player that's missing.
Highlights of the second half, plenty of chances. There you see the yank down on Shane Lemmy by Mike Vitulano and Sasha Vitiknas. That would have ended it. Had he have made that marker, that would have been it. However, we stayed tied and nothing else came of it. You see Rita Agaram taking out the bench. And then the last few chances of the game, and Shane Lemmy then running into the railing to end off this half, but nothing solved. So 2 15-minute halves coming up. We have extra time on the way. It's the 2009 CSL Championship Final, only on Rogers TV. Welcome back to BMO Field in Toronto. The CN Tower lit up as we await in anticipation for the start of the first extra half at BMO. 15 minutes, 2 15-minute halves. And if nothing is decided by then, we head to a penalty shootout. Scoreless after 90-plus minutes. So the coin toss has been held. We will await on the results as to who starts out with ball control. And here is what could have decided this game. Sasha Vitiknas missing a penalty. Had he have made good on that, we would not be here right now. The game would be over. However, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, then we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
That could have been the decisive factor, but I said it. He tried to pull a Ronaldo-style penalty kick, and he just could not manage it.
I don't think I have seen someone actually pull off a penalty kick like that, other than
Ronaldo?
Said Ronaldo.
Well, it shouldn't actually, well, we can get into that. It shouldn't actually be allowed. You can't just start your run and stop and then start your run again. Ronaldo, however, seems to get away with it all the time. Vitiknas tries it, misses it.
Well, when you're Cristiano Ronaldo, you tend to get calls like that.
Get away with things like that.
So here we go. The attack will start going right to left on your screen. 15 minutes, and then a second 15 minutes if nothing happens after that, we will have the penalty shootout. And we have a player down already. It's Mirko Medic on the turf.
Now, we would expect to see Serbia really try to move this ball around a lot. Really make Trois-Rivières run. They have one less player out there on the pitch. So to make them run, it will exhaust them completely. It will expel a lot more energy than it will take for Serbia to do so with that added man advantage at this point in the game. So you exhaust the opposing team, and that might be your key to victory.
Push through on the run. This is Shane Lammy. He was knocked down, back up to his feet, picked up by Meftu. Gives it away though. This blast blocked nicely off the foot of Sishovic. So not quite a full half of soccer to be played. Medic up into the air, headed back. This is Stamatovic to Sishovic, back to Stamatovic. Sishovic sliding on that was Tisminar to try and break the play up. Collecting and racing away are the Attack. This is Rumari. Light ball, easily picked up and harmlessly cleared aside by the White Eagles. Curtis on the far side. Shipping it through, that was knocked down. Milicevic. As the ball's played out, quickly scoops it up, feeds Hurtis. Gets it back. Milicevic. Pushing it through, up in the air. And taken by Andre Badescu.
Misheaded back, but Badescu did a very good job making up for that error. Got to the ball very efficiently. Trois-Rivières already, we're seeing just in the opening minutes of this extra time, they are coming out with a lot more offensive prowess than we have seen all game. Guillaume Roux is now stationed as your top striker. He is hanging out up there and he is running around like crazy, waiting for that ball that is going to be sent up to him.
Maillard pushing it through. This is collected, tossed up into the air. Rumari chasing it down, keeping his feet moving to try and collect. Rumari trying to spin away. Rumari yanked down, and this will end up, I believe, as a corner for the Trois-Rivières Attack, who have really not gotten anything going in the first 90 minutes.
It will be a corner for them now, and this is a great opportunity. This is one of those opportunities, but that because of their situation, that they should really want to capitalize on. There needs to be a lot more height on this ball than we've seen come out of the corners taken by them so far this game, if they really want to get any chance going with these.
Rumari, low ball, easily taken and cleared away by Milicevic.
No, and you see that's one of those ones way too low, cutting in to that top post. Not going to work, especially when you have the bodies back, those big, manly Serbian bodies back there that can outpower all of these Trois-Rivières players simply because of their strength and size.
Stamatovic put it in. Sisovic pushing it through. Lemmy was offside and the play blown down. Lemmy all smiles, not fully understanding why the play was called.
I think he's beginning to find this laughable at this point, as it seems as though every run he makes, he appears to be offside tonight.
As the play blown down now, and much to the chagrin of the Serbian supporters, this will be a possession, a free kick for the Trois-Rivières Attack. We have not seen them actually take a free kick. We've just seen them pass it off tonight.
Now, I'm not sure they have a player on their team. Joey Cortese is going to step up to take this one, but I'm not sure they have a player on their team with that free kick ability like Vatikna, so hopefully this will be played shorter.
They're going to push it through and into the area before it's cleared away by Adrian Tisminar, who's down in some pain on the turf.
That ball was played a lot shorter. There just was not a Trois-Rivières player that was able to get up there, get any sort of body part on it. It was a little bit too obvious of a shot directly into the wall.
Tisminar back up to his feet. And we'll get back underway. Tossed in. This is Roux-Marie, not able to control. The ball ends up bouncing off him and out. Off the feed from Pelch. Milicevic off to Jankovic. Mirko Medic now. He gives it to Jankovic to Milicevic. Dragorad Milicevic moving up the field. And it's cleared out by the Attack. And this looks like both teams, or at least minus the push that the Trois-Rivières Attack just had, that due to the start, these two might be playing for a shootout. As you said, there is no real force for the Attack that the White Eagles have.
Teams don't really like to go to shootouts. It's always that last option that no one really likes to turn to. I'm surprised we're not seeing a bit more come out of Trois-Rivières at this point. They really need to do a better job getting a handle on this ball. They need to gain possession of it and not lose it. So if that means they need to shorten up on their passes and slowly work the ball up the field instead of going for that long ball right up to your center striker, you know, that's what you got to do. You got to shorten it up. You got to work with what you have out there.
The ball sent in, cleared away, taken back over by the White Eagles, and an easy shot by Anastanov, taken by Andre Badescu.
Yeah, that shot was no threat at all for Badescu.
Sisovic played back. Seems like the players right now don't have a lot of energy. Tisminar.
And that is exactly what Serbia is hoping for. Serbia is really hoping that Trois-Rivières just runs out of steam.
On the run, this is Hurtis with a hard shot and knocked away by the flying hand of Andre Badescu.
Both teams right now, they're in a very good situation in terms of substitutions. Neither team using very many. You're allowed 7 substitutions in the CSL, and there are plenty remaining subs available for both of these teams to use. That ball actually hitting Badescu's hand after it had already gone out. So we're able to see a corner kick come out of the Trois-Rivières side now, or at a goal kick rather.
Given right out, and the Eagles take it back, but the play blown down on the foul. Ball pounded in, Tisminar knocking it down with the head. Meftu played it off. This is Roux-Marie colliding with his man. Pushed ahead and well ahead of the charging Anastanov. And it's played out by Milicevic. As the Serbian chants and singing continue.
I was wondering what happened to them. I think they might have fallen asleep at the end of the regular 90 minutes, but now they are back in full force, bouncing up and down. I think they just maybe want to stay warm out here, as it is awfully chilly.
5.5 minutes remaining in the first of the 2 extra halves. Nothing to speak of yet.
It's almost as though both teams are playing their cards very, very close to their chest at this point and really just looking forward to that second 15-minute half that's upcoming.
Lammy, a drive, nowhere near the net. Still drawing plenty of excited cries.
When Lammy is not finding himself offside tonight, he's managing to get himself into a terrific position. He just has not been able to get a solid shot off. As soon as he does, I think that we'll see a goal come out of him, because he just has that capability. It's just not really going his way so far tonight. Now, Joe, did you have Lammy as one of your selections?
I've quite forgotten who my selections were. I've had so many since most of them have been pulled out of the game.
All right, well, then I'm taking him.
Lammy couldn't make good on the pickup, and charging back is Carl Ouimet. He handed it off and then getting dumped at midfield was an attack forward. Meftu trying to push the ball in. This is going to reach Pelch in an easy flying catch. Dan Pelch in the championship game, probably one of the easiest nights he's had to deal with. There have been plenty of shots, but they've been from far out and bad angles and really not tested him.
Not at all. Dan Pelch, he's used to seeing a lot more shots come at him. Normally, this Serbian defense, they're not as good as they are tonight. Right now, they seem to be so capable in their job that nothing is managing to break through to Pelch.
And we can tell you that Emine Meftu coming off and Serge Dinkota will come on, so Meftu's night is done.
Serge Dinkota, another one of those teenagers, born in the Republic of Congo. He's 18 years old. He is normally always put into games to bulk up the defense. Normally we see him come in when Trois-Rivières has secured a lead. Right now, no lead. We're tied, 0-0 still. But I guess, you know, Amni Meftu, midfielder, they might just want to bulk up that defense because they're seeing that threat that Serbia is posing on the attack.
Pushed into the middle, no one home, and Aguram will hit it up. Tisminar keeping the ball in, Aguram playing it back one more time. Ball just volleying back and forth. And catching an injury is Felix Cardin, who is down, clutching his lower back. And we've got a yellow card being shown, I believe, to Adrian Tisminar. And Cardin down, the training staff for Trois-Rivières coming on the field. Cardin has played the entire game.
He has. He's a very capable player. He's been appointed to the Canadian national teams at the youth levels many times. We see right here he's just getting that knee that goes right up into the tailbone, and that has got to hurt a lot.
On a cold fall night like this, there is definitely not a lot of give to any of those bones. And Adrian Tisminar receiving a yellow card afterwards for chirping the official as time continues to tick down.
Tisminar has received a few yellow cards in the playoffs so far. He can get a little bit dirty out there, and there we saw one of those things that he thought he was going to be able to get away with, but he just didn't. The referee, great eyes on him, saw that right away, and card handed out to him.
Up ahead, Budalic sending it through. Cortezi sending it up. Chipped in, now on the run. The attack trying to run it down. Taking it away are the Eagles. This is Budalic going across. Less than a minute to go in the first half of these two extra half times. And of course, if nothing's settled, we will head to the penalties. Tisminar going across the Matovic. High in the air. And ended up going behind Anastanov. This is Budalic. Milicevic. Budalic again. Pushing it through. Trying to catch up to it was Sishovic. And there's the announcement of Dinkota into the match. And we can tell you 2 extra minutes have been given to this half. As it's played out in a corner kick for Serbia.
And it will be Jonathan Hurtis. Doesn't normally take set pieces, but he will be the one to step up this time.
Hurtis would love to give this pro-Serbian crowd something to cheer about. Up high into the air, bounces around and just wide as Shane Lamy looked to swing that. I believe another corner's been given, though, to the Serbian White Eagles.
Shane Lamy, again, like I said, the guy keeps finding himself in these brilliant positions, but he just can't get a solid foot on the ball. We'll take another look. He gets in there, just can't quite wrap it around Badescu, who does a great job getting in there on top of Lamy.
Low ball into the area, and the official calling the play.
Seemed to be the exact same type of ball, Lamy in the exact same position, but he just could not get a leg on it that time.
Badescu getting ready. 1 minute gone in the 2 added minutes. Medic. And let it roll to Dan Pelch. This is Hurtis. Pushing it through on the run. Anastanov. Trying to cut his way in. Sends it towards the net and an easy scoop for Badescu. As the whistle sounds to end the first of the 2 added halves, 105 minutes played, no goals scored as of yet, and we will wait to head to the second of these 2 halves. No halftime break, and Laura, something eventually's got to give.
You would think so. I am so impressed at this point the way that Trois-Rivières is playing. To play 10 men for more than half of the game at this point and still ward off any major goal threat by Serbia is just amazing. Here we take a look at the opportunities mostly coming out of Serbia as expected. Trois-Rivières, however, they did have their chance on a few as well. Corner kicks. Serbia seeing a lot more of them. Lamy always in the right position, just can't seem to get his foot on it.
So the final 15 minutes of the season, this is going to come right down to the wire, and then, of course, any additional penalties if needed. So here we go. Serbia will now control for this second half. Settling it down is Anastanov. Forced off by Augustin. Another one of the Trois-Rivières players who's gone the distance. And it's played out by Mark Yankovic. Or excuse me, that is, yes, it is Yankovic.
I would like to see a few more substitutions coming in this 15-minute half that we're playing in now. You know, Yannick Rome or Jean-Louis Jeune, the 18-year-old midfielder for Trois-Rivières, has not seen any action tonight, and he is one of those kids that when he gets out there, he always just seems to get lucky. He just seems to find himself in the right place, like he did in the Trois-Rivières Portugal quarterfinal match that you saw on Rogers TV. But at the same time, coaches, they need to be secure with their players on the pitch in the event that it does go to a penalty kick situation. You have to make sure that all players are capable, or at least have 5, I guess, that are capable of scoring a penalty kick under the pressure that you will be under.
Tisminar, while falling, spun the ball off, picked away by the attack. Played back by the White Eagles. This is Hurtis. Charging up the pitch, finding a seam. Lamy was in offside, though, and the whistle is blown. I won't call a winner here, but I will definitely go out on a limb and say Serbia in penalties.
Wow, that is bold, Joe. Bold.
Our director in the truck is picking Trois-Rivières in penalties. So, Laura, I guess you have the deciding vote.
I am not saying a thing. I want to see this game unfold on the field now with the remaining minutes. I don't want to see it go to any sort of penalty kick situation.
Tisminar feeding it down. Once again, Adrian Tisminar into the middle of the pitch, playing it back. Milicevic handed it off. John Hurtis. Hurtis looking for someone out in front. Finds Lammy. Shoved right off the ball, and it's cleared away by Trois-Rivières. Tisminar regains control. Sends it ahead. Knocked over to the far side. Nice move, cutting in, handing it off. This is Sishovic back out in front, and a weak shot is going to roll out.
Oh, the pressure was certainly on there. Trois-Rivières, they had so many bodies back. They were just playing straight defense. As Serbia, they were very carefully moving that ball around the field. Finally, a shot getting off, but it was no threat at all. But what a great ball across to him. He just could not redirect it.
This is Aguram. Fighting for it now is Eru, and he is brought down, producing a whistle. As we wait for the ball to be played back onto the surface. Coaching staff from both teams, the Serbian White Eagles, eagerly awaiting the outcome. And the question still on everyone's mind, is the prediction going to come true? The White Eagle brass at the beginning of the playoffs predicted another championship. They are 1 goal away right now from that prediction coming true. Here's the free kick and an easy catch for Dan Pelch.
That was one of the best free kicks we've seen taken by Trois-Rivières this match. Unfortunately, was just a little too far, and no one could make that run to get that little flick on it to put it in the net.
Curtis, long drive, nowhere near the net. And right now it seems as though teams are just taking shots from anywhere and hoping for the best.
It does seem like that, and you know something, Trois-Rivières might actually have some luck if they are able to keep doing that within the next minutes that are left in this half of extra time.
Prior to what would be a penalty shootout. It's cleared out of bounds. As this marathon is what it's turned into, it's just dragged on and on.
A lot of awards were handed out tonight. Sasa Vitiknes picked up the MVP award, handed out by the league. Top goal scorer, of course, Reda Agoram of Trois-Rivières. Defender of the year, Mirko Medic, Serbia. Goalkeeper, Dan Pelch, Serbia. Rookie of the year, Reda Agoram, and Coach of the year, Felipe Ulafroy. So, all in all, it was basically a 3-3 split. Plus, both those teams won their respective divisions. So, no matter what happens in this game, they both had phenomenal years.
And the breaking point will be that CSL Cup. Less than 10 minutes remaining now away from a penalty shootout.
Ladies and gentlemen, that tonight's game can be seen on Rogers TV at 8 p.m. tonight. That's the CSL final live on Rogers TV.
Cortezi throwing it in. And we have another whistle. Pushing and shoving. The official not liking what he saw. Cortezi once again. Cortezi pushing it through. He finds Aguram. Aguram turns and fires on goal and then headed away alertly by Adrian Tisminar. And with the way that Trois-Rivières has been taking their penalty, or I should say corner kicks tonight, that's not a bad play.
Not at all. They really have not been able to get much going out of their corner kicks. They haven't been able to generate any sort of height off of them. We've seen no runs come out of them when the ball is sent in. We really need to see some height, and these players need to really get running. But before the kick is going to take place, the referee is allowing Serbia to make a substitution.
Shane Lamy coming off, and it is going to be Milalo Bachanin coming in.
Bachanin normally makes an appearance when he's being subbed in for Vitiknes. Always coming in crunch time. This guy is really good at just giving those power spurts right at the end of the game, and that is what Serbia wants right now.
Booted in, up on the ladder, and then redirected wide.
And what a great corner kick that was. That was one of those ones that if we had seen those all game, we might have seen a different score. Reda Agorem, take a look at him, gets way above everybody else. His height was impressive, gets a head on it, just redirects that ball, not into the net.
This is Pelch. Bringing the kick up. We can tell you that Shane Lamy has suffered an injury to his groin, and that's why he's taken out. So he falls victim to an injury. And Mihajlo Bachanin will take over the duties.
After Lamy ran into that rail, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised he lasted so long in the game, but now it will be Trois-Rivières' turn to make a substitution.
And you were saying you would like to see James Louis-Join come in, and it will be exactly that. Pierre-Rudolph Minard makes his exit from this season.
So it will be the Louis-Jean, the attacking midfielder, who just always seems to get lucky, like I was saying. Hopefully these fresh legs can really generate something in the remaining time left in this game.
So Join coming on, and this could very well be now that teams are starting to set themselves up for the guys that they want to have taking the penalties.
You always have to be aware of that as a coach. You always want to have capable players out there that are good under pressure, that are good from the spot.
Less than 6 minutes to go here at BMO. High boot into the area. This is going to fall harmlessly down to the turf and produce a throw-in for Serbia. Hurtis. Standing throw, working it back. Getting it returned to him. John Hurtis. Dishes it off. Budalic. Punt into the area, and then getting interfered with slightly was Nikola Sishovic, and he could not get the shot off cleanly.
Oh, I thought that was going to be the one, and Bachanin was right there waiting for that rebound to come off of Badescu. It didn't happen, but great positioning by Serbia.
And a Stanov as it's played out up into the spectator seating. And once again, off the inbound, it's knocked out. So Stamatovic, one more time, will throw it in. Bachanin all tied up. And yet another whistle. And from right now, it definitely looks like we are heading to the penalties. And another substitution upcoming, it looks like, for Trois-Rivières. As that is Shadi Saleh. And it looks like, is it Rita Agaran who's going to come off?
I believe it is likely. It looks to be. But we will wait for the official word.
And
the referee now allowing the substitution.
Here it comes. It is Agaran heading off. So the leading goal scorer from the league being pulled in the dying minutes of added time. Is there a medal stake for this?
But on comes Shady Saleh. Now, this is a guy. He's got 3 goals this year, but 2 of those goals came in the second leg of the semifinals when they were able to beat Italia 2-1 to put them through to this championship game. So perhaps it will be Saleh that has that lucky touch when it comes to these very, very crucial games.
3 minutes remaining in this second half of extra time. Tisminar trying to turn on the afterburners. Forced out wide and cleared off. Cleared in. Saleh couldn't catch up to it. And this will get out of bounds. Is not able to run it down was James Louis Juin. Juin with the throw-in. Knocking it in. This is Roumari. Had trouble with that as he forced it ahead to Saleh, who couldn't pull the trigger.
Great defensive work there.
Running it back down to Badescu. And it looks like the Trois-Rivières Attak have picked up some life, and definitely good strategy to have fresh legs perhaps going into the shootout.
That's right. You know, Coach Ulafry, not the coach of the year for no reason at all. Very strategic in his actions.
James Louis Juin, we talked about him, his scoring touch. This is one of the goals against Portugal that he had in the semifinals. And you can bet each and every member of the Trois-Rivières Attak hope that he can have the same touch if he's called upon again. 90 seconds to go. Roumari passes it off. Augustin to Roumari, and this is going to end up getting out of play.
Trois-Rivières has just got to be absolutely exhausted at this point, having to play a man short for such a long time now. But they are not showing it at all. They are still really hustling and really trying to work this ball forward in a quite competitive and very quick way.
We can tell you that there have been 2 minutes of added time to this half. Hurtis playing it back. Milicevic sent up. This is Budalic. Worked back, and now Serbia, it seems, would be content just to move this to a penalty shootout. As the distinct possibility of this going 120 minutes of playing time without a goal, very distinct. This is Bakanin.
Ladies and gentlemen, an additional 2 minutes of injury time in the second.
Tisminar with a long drive, and taking that is Andre Badescu.
Straight into the arms of Badescu, and he does not flinch at all, just cradles that into his body.
And I believe a player down on the pitch stops the play momentarily. Off a bubble, this is Hurtis cutting in. John Hurtis has it swept off his feet, and this could produce one of the last good chances of the game for the Serbian White Eagles, with a minute remaining before we head to that penalty shootout.
Joey Cortese doing a great job to get right in the way of Hurtis on that. Unfortunately, the ball going out behind. Therefore, we're going to see that corner kick right now, but this could be that last chance for Serbia.
Hurtis chipping it into the area lightly, off the head and into the hands of Andre Badescu. He sends it up the field, looking for a man high. Milicevic getting in the way of that. Bakanin. Stamatovic now. Firing it all the way down. This is Sišović handing it off. 30 seconds to go in added time. Dinkota sending it up. Does the chance continue, and the Serbian fans trying to will their team on? as the offside flags are up, and that brings the regular shouts as this ball will be put down.
Seems to be one of the many stories of the night for Serbia is getting those offside calls.
And we will head to a penalty shootout.
So in exactly the same situation as what happened in the 2008 CSL Championship. Not the same score going into it. Prior, in the last year's game, it was 2-2. This time, we will see what is going to come out of this shootout. I am very interested to see who will be selected as the first shooters.
A game that could not get any closer between two opponents very familiar with each other. Highlights from this final part of the game, and plenty of chances for both teams. Rita Aguram after that was taken out shortly thereafter, but both sides with good chances, and it has come down to the wire now, the penalty shootout.
You know, I don't always like to see these shootouts, but we're going to see one tonight, and it will definitely not be something to miss.
After 120 minutes here at BMO Field, nothing settled. We head to the penalty shootout. The CSL Championship Final down to the wire. We have it coming up for you next on Rogers TV. We're back here at BMO. It will be Mark Jankovic shooting first for the Serbian White Eagles. Showboating a little bit before he even shoots.
Yeah, that was very weird. Throwing his hands all over the place.
Jankovic with the first one. Stepping up, and he scores. And the showboating from Jankovic, rubbing a little bit of dirt in the wound.
I'm not going to say I've never seen anyone go about taking a penalty kick like that with all the arm flailing and dancing and throwing your hands into the goal space.
Thierry Maroux will shoot now for Trois-Rivières. One 0 so far as Serbia made good on their first attempt. Eru scores!
Takes no chances with that at all. He just carefully lays it right into the right hand lower side of the net. Keeper guesses the wrong way. 1-1.
Second shooter for the Serbian White Eagles at number 6,
Mirko
Mirko Medic.
Medic shooting now for the White Eagles. Medic off the post. That caught a piece of Andre Batascu's foot and stayed out.
Unbelievable. Trois-Rivières getting very, very lucky with that one. Just takes a shot, hits the foot of Badescu and deflects it right onto the goal post, sending it out.
Stepping up now, I believe that is number 14, James Louis Juin.
It is indeed.
And Juin looking to give Trois-Rivières the lead off the crossbar.
Oh, no run up to that one. He just steps on in, strikes the ball just high, goes right off the crossbar. Very short. Pelch didn't even have to get a finger on it as it just hits squarely the crossbar.
Budalic now as Serbia dodges a bullet, stepping up to try and give the White Eagles the lead. Budalic off the post again! 2 posts for the Serbian White Eagles, and we stay tied at 1.
Oh my, I don't think I've ever seen so many balls go off the crossbar and the posts of the net like this in a penalty shootout. We'll take another look. He just shanks it right off to the right-hand side or the keeper's left.
Dinkota will now shoot for Trois-Rivières. And again, what a lift this would be. That would put Serbia on the ropes with only 2 shooters remaining after this. Dinkota scores!
Same spot. Goes right into the lower right corner. That time Pelch guessing the right way, but just could not stop the shot. Didn't even get close to getting even a finger on that one. As it was just deliberately struck by Dinkota.
Hurtis will really want to score here to avoid putting Pelch in an unfriendly situation. John Hurtis to tie things up again. Hurtis scores!
That time he sneaks it on in the left side. They're opting to stay low now, right on the ground. They don't want to go high, as they've seen it can go off the crossbar, so you stay nice and low. Hurtis takes a good solid run up. Left-hand side of that net. That time Badescu also guessing the right way, just could not get there in time.
I believe that this is Rumeri. No, excuse me, this looks like it is Rumeri, 21. A chance to give Trois-Rivières the lead. Rumeri sends it wide.
Oh, he didn't, he scuffed it. Sends it well wide of the net.
And
no threat at all for Dan Pelch and the White Eagles.
Milicevic now to give Serbia the lead. And you talk about pressure. The final leg of the 5, and the wind has blown the ball right off of the spot. Milicevic to give Serbia the lead. What a save!
Oh my!
By Andre Badescu.
Andre Badescu gets a solid hand on that one. Wow, he just stood his ground. Yes, you, Badescu, what a save indeed.
The cat-like reflexes.
He was already mid-dive, and he managed to get that arm right up there and get a solid hand on that ball to deflect it and hit it well outside of the net.
Felix Cardin now to win it for Trois-Rivières. Cardin for the win, scores! Felix Cardin! Trois-Rivières wins! It is over!
Trois-Rivières has won the 2009 CSL Championship. They won the league and now they win the cup. Celebrations all around. Serbian White Eagles, they just could not do it. It all came down to the penalty shots. And Felix Cardin and Andre Badescu are tonight's heroes for Trois-Rivières Attak.
The drought has ended, and Cardin, no mistake. And the Trois-Rivières Attak, they'll show you, as will their fans, who scored, and the faces of the Serbian White Eagles will show you.
What a season it has been for the Attak. Well played every single game pretty much. Coach Felipe Ulafroy did a wonderful job with his team this year, and all of the players, wow, some of the young teenagers, the young kids on this team, they have the ability to be world-class superstars at whatever kind of level they want to play at.
The Trois-Rivières Attak, they will be hosting the CSL Championship Trophy. They will lift it high, the trophy presentation, when we get back. The Attak, 3-2 shootout winners over the Serbian White Eagles. They win the CSL Championship. Stay with us. We'll have more on Rogers TV.
Awesome teams, the two best teams all season. First, I want to congratulate Serbian White Eagles. They won their division again. They made it to the finals again. 2 years in a row went to penalty kicks, so big round of applause for the Serbian White Eagles.
Certainly a valiant effort for them. Thank you very much, Kerry. I'm going to bring in the captain, Mike Vitulano, for some comments here. Mike, give us your thoughts on this season and finally avenging that loss last year. How does it feel?
It feels absolutely great. I mean, all year, these guys showed character, they showed professionalism, they always give a maximum effort, and now we finally deserve it. We came to the final, and we get away with the cup.
Well, without further ado, Kerry, perhaps you can give the honors. Absolute pandemonium here, the table even breaking. Lara and Joe, back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Arda and Laura. You can't say much else. Pure jubilation and a little bit of vengeance, making the victory all the sweeter after the Trois-Rivières Attak last year, falling in penalties to the Serbian White Eagles. This year, completely different story, and you heard Mike say it. A lot of character with this team.
There was a heck of a lot of character all season long, but the story of tonight, how fantastic was it? The 10-man Trois-Rivières managed to defeat the Serbian White Eagles, the giants that they were. We see the victory celebrations out there on the field now, the cup being handed around, and these guys are just ecstatic, and it is a very well-deserved victory. Not only the league, but the cup too.
You see Rita Aguram there. He was pulled out of the game. Plenty of substitutions, and you got to wonder if those fresh legs really contributed in the penalty shootout.
So much contributed to this. But the coaching, Felipe Ulafroy, my goodness, what theoretical prowess he had out there tonight, what mental ability he had to, he made the right substitutions at the right time, he saved players to bring them on at the right time, and this is what came out of it, a huge victory for him. Huge congratulations to Trois-Rivières Attak.
The play of the game tonight, no real question as to what it is. The final goal, Felix Cardan, money from way out, and the golden goal, the winning goal for the Trois-Rivières Attak. The bench will show you who scored it. As they explode, the fans explode, and Trois-Rivières finally hoisting the CSL Championship, breaking the curse, bringing the championship back to the province of Quebec.
Now, it was not only that goal by Felix Carden, but it was obviously that huge save by Andre Badescu, who managed to get that solid hand on the ball and push it out to make sure that Serbia did not get that goal in the penalty kick.
And the winning photo, one of the perks for the championship team, and nothing else can really be said other than that picture. It speaks a million words. 3-2 final in the penalty shootout, and for Trois-Rivières, they have a winner to enjoy this.
It's their first CSL championship, and it was extremely well-deserved. I am still amazed that they managed to do this with only 10 men for more than half of this entire game. Great work, and it has been a fantastic season right from the get-go. When we first started off with Rogers TV, our first game of the season was Trois-Rivières TFC Academy, and that was an exciting one right off the bat.
And the Gatorade shower for the coaching staff, the fitting end to a season. And there were at some points that it seemed like Trois-Rivières was just going to be decimated by injuries and absences, and they found a way to battle through.
They definitely did. All season they have been struggling with so much, with players being ejected, with having to play a man down, 2 men down, with players being lost to the USL for the Montreal Impact, because this is obviously a feeder team for the Montreal Impact. But all of the team, all of the players, the coaching staff, they did a brilliant job all season long that brought them to this one big, miraculous almost moment for them.
So very fitting for the Trois-Rivières Attak. They avenged the loss last year and bring home a championship that they've so badly needed. It's been a great season, fantastic from beginning to end. So many different venues, so many great memories that will be sure to last us, the winner, on to next season. So for everyone here at Rogers TV, Arda Ocal, Lara Baldessera, Jeremy Milani, our director in the truck, and our entire Rogers TV crew, I'm Joe Pogue saying good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next season. The Trois-Rivières Attak winners, the 2009 CSL champions. You've been watching the CSL all season on Rogers TV.